Hello and welcome to the Madgohk Hong Kong YouTube channel. I'm Brian and today I'll be going through a game that we played against the Dominican Go Federation in February. In this game I'm playing against Pascal, who is 3Q in his native country. And let's get started. So in this game, I'm playing as black and Pascal is playing as white. I opened with the orthodox opening. Here, white approached the star point with a one space high approach, which is quite unusual. The problem with this move is that it gives away too much solid territory to black while it doesn't gain a sufficient amount of influence to justify it. So the usual response to this move is to just play the 1 point jump. Here, I think what would have been better is either to play the approach move here or to play the 3-3 point. Now, obviously, it depends on your playstyle, but these would be the moves that I recommend. So let's go back to the game. You might have seen this Joseki, but for the 3-4 point rather than for the star point. And here, white jumped. In this position, I think it would be slightly better for white to play something along the lines of playing an extension here, especially because white's group here is already undercut. In the game, black approached at this corner. Playing the pincer is the correct move, I would say. But blocking this way is a bit weird because if we assume that white plays the Joseki by blocking this way, and we assume something like this, then you can see that white's jump here and white's wall that was just built here makes a bit of a moyo on the right side of the board, and this would be a little bit more coherent. In the game, white blocked this way, and now the wall is facing in, I would say, the wrong direction, and also this Joseki leaves white in gote, which means black gets to play another move. So in the game, I approached here. And we played out this Joseki. And then I played an invasion here, which is a bit of an overplay, it turns out, because the most effective refutation is for white to just jump out. It leaves black with two separated groups, and especially because white played the small knights move over here, there aren't as many forcing moves that black can play against it, which means it's more difficult for black to escape with this group, and also black has to take care of this stone. In the game, white approached from this side, which allowed black to cover on the top. And this, I would say, is a good result for black. Black took quite a bit of influence here, and the shape is relatively strong. Also, it's a strong shape against white's wall on the right bottom right-hand corner, which reduces the amount of influence that it's producing towards the middle of the board. Black cross-cut here to make shape, and then played this Atari. Now, the correct move, I would say, is for white to simply connect here, and then black might play a move here to protect this group, or black might just tanuki and play a large point along the top of the board. In the game, white played down. Now, this is a move that lost white a lot of points and also winning percentage according to the AI, because once black takes the stone here, white has to defend here, and black has effectively protected the shape here in Sente. In the game, black played once to capture this stone, and white should have taken this opportunity to connect here, but instead played a small knight's move along the left side of the board and gave black the opportunity to take. After this, white had to protect, which means black has Sente again. So black took the opportunity to start poking at this group. White connected, and black played a pincer on this shape. Now, bear in mind that this Joseki ends up with 2 small knights move, which means that there are cutting points that black can exploit. So in the game, white defended this way, and black made shape. A small fight goes on here. In the game, white attached here. I think the idea of this move is to gain some strength before continuing the attack on black's group on the right side of the board. But this move is, I would say, not so good, because it, first of all, it gets rid of this move, which is a better attack on the black corner here. It aims at a peep here and then an extension. Also, in the game, after black plays this Hane, white plays the double Hane, and black simply connects. Now, white is faced with a choice whether to protect the 2 stones that it just invested by playing something like this or connecting, or white can continue the attack on the group on the right-hand side, but it means that black later on will have something along the lines of here to take a lot of profit at the top of the board. So in the game, white protected, and black played the tiger's mouth shape just to strengthen this group, and effectively this group is now safe. It would be very difficult for white to mount an attack against it. It might have been a good time for white to take Sente to play elsewhere, but by playing this group, it means that white still has a chance to attack this black group. So, but it means that black will likely play away from here. In the game, black pressed, and then after these exchanges, white peeped. This peep is a good move because not only does it make black shape quite heavy, it also protects against a potential cut here by making this shape. In the game, black connected, and then white jumped. I think if white wanted to take a more active approach, white could consider playing a move around here, just to make black's escape a little more difficult. So black might have to play Kosumi here just to run away, and it means that white would have a bit more potential towards the top left-hand side of the board. Then black peeped here. I don't think in retrospect this was a good move, but it does mean that white has to somehow protect the cutting points again. And in the game, black simply connected, and it's out from the right-hand side. This move is quite slow because since black is already out and it's unlikely to be able to attack black here, white might consider playing a move along the top side of the board, for example, by attaching here. Just to show you an example, this might end up like this, and then just play an extension along here, just to reduce the amount of influence that this large knight shape is protruding towards the top side of the board. White can also consider moves like these, which aims at attaching at the 3-3 point, and if black responds, then white can make some territory, or at least make a moyo along here. In the game, white cut here, and black doesn't really need to respond to that, so black took the opportunity to play an extension along the top side of the board. White connected here, and black played an extension at Tengen. Here, black probably shouldn't have made this poke because it gets rid of the cut once white simply connects, but white plays a more active approach and plays a loose net around this stone. It also puts a bit of pressure on the right-hand side group, which isn't 100% connected to the bottom side yet. And white here is trying quite hard to separate at least some of the black stones and place this hane. Now, the proper shape for connecting would be the Kusumi played here. But white has this move. This move aims at pushing through and cutting, and then also later on at cutting along here by attaching. However, if white does decide to push through, and let's say black plays a move somewhere here, black can still escape by pushing through here. In the game, black covered here, and white peeped, black connected, and this is a critical point of the game, and it's also rather unfortunate for black because black made a clicko, a mouse input mistake. Instead of covering here, I intended to actually just push straight through, and the variation I was considering was probably something like this. Black would turn, and then white would take these two stones, and black would be out and connected to this group. Instead, my mouse slipped, and I covered here, which was very problematic because once white cuts here, at first sight, it doesn't seem that black has enough eye space to live in this area. But after consulting AI, it turns out that this group, while yes, it's in a bit of trouble, it can still live after making a few exchanges. So in the game, I played here, white pushed, and I played once more. Now, in the game, white connected, but there are actually other ways for white to bully black's shape here. For example, white can play this tiger's mouth, which means, first of all, it cuts off the potential connection to the top, and it also protects this cut. Now, it turns out that while this move is strong against black's group here, black can live by playing here first, and if white reduces black's eye shape, black can play this sequence, the small knight's move here, and the small knight's move here is aiming at the jump here, which potentially has a connection to the corner. And if white stops this, then just by retreating here, if white takes away black's eye shape there, black can connect, and then white plays here, black can live with this move. Now, this is not a clean life. Well, it is a seki. So how the seki plays out is like this. So white would poke at the eye shape, black cuts it off, and then once black connects here, it's a seki. Alternatively, if white peeps here, black can push through, and if white plays the key point inside, then black can play this tiger's mouth shape and cut off the two stones and push through. Now, white can't really block here anymore, because if white blocks here, it's a net and these 4 stones die. So it turns out that black has a life with this group without too much trouble. In the game, white connected, black played this peep, and white played a key point here. Black attached and played the hane. This ensures that if white pushes through, then black can still connect like this. So white played away at this point and played the small knight's move to put some pressure at the top left-hand side. And then white makes a few exchanges here. These are not so good because, first of all, these are potential co-threats, and second of all, after making these exchanges, you can see that the liberties on this white group is quite short. So white cuts here, black pushes through, and gives up the 2 stones. This is a sente move for the 3 stones. So white protects here, and then black extends here just to reduce the amount of influence that white would have here. After this, it's still a fairly close game, but black is slightly in the lead. White takes the opportunity to take the 2 stones. I think this move is a bit slow. It would have been better for white to play an endgame move if white decided to go that way, to either to play an extension here or to play the endgame sequence here. This is a very big move actually, because after black plays here, later on black still has to put in a stone, which means that the territory here is less than initially thought. In the game, black played an exchange and then played this 1-point jump. At this point, black is in the lead in terms of points, and we've entered endgame. This move is not so good because it doesn't really gain white much in terms of territory. By playing the net here earlier, white has already captured these 2 stones. It would be very difficult for black to escape. So this move, even though it does make this shape if black pushes through, it's not quite necessary. So black took the opportunity to take the area here, and white plays a large endgame move by playing the small knight's move here. Black pushes through and blocks. This is not so good actually, because white can ignore this turn and play elsewhere. Here white played straight down. It would have been better for white to play the Hanetsugi. It means, as I showed before, black still has to put in a stone afterwards. But afterwards, white decided to play away, which is, again, I would call this a mistake, because it gives black the opportunity to play this Hane, which is sente for both players. Black here played this attachment. In the game, I was starting to run low on time, and this was a misread. I thought I could capture some stones, but it turns out it's not so bad, except I give up sente. So I play here, and here there's a connect and die shape, so white takes the stone and black connects out and ends in gote. White decides to play this sente connection and then blocks here to ensure getting this territory. However, at this point, this is probably not the biggest endgame move just yet. In the game, black poked and white counterattacked. And black plays this retreat, which is a mistake because it means that later on, let's say black plays, let's say black plays away, and then white has the opportunity. White can peep here, and then crawl, and then play the Kosumi and connect out. This is rather a big loss for black in terms of territory. So black should have played here. In the game, white played the bamboo joint. Again, it's spending too many moves to capture these two stones, so it's not as effective. And black took the opportunity to block here. Again, I think white should take the opportunity here to play the endgame sequence here to peep and then crawl, just to get rid of all of black's territory here. But white connected, and then black protected by playing this small knight's move here. White connected here, which again is only a 1 point in Gote move. And black Haned here. After these exchanges, white finally played a move that should have been played a while ago, and that's the Kosumi here. This is probably the biggest endgame move that was on the board for both players. In the game, black played here. Black could have just blocked, but I was running out of time and I didn't want to read what would happen if there was a Hane and then a poke. There should be no life and death problem here, so black should have just blocked. White played the Atari and then connected here. This is probably the final large endgame move. Black played this Hane Tsuki. White could have protected by playing this Hane instead. Now, of course, white would have to suffer some territory loss here, and this is because if black pokes here and cuts, this white stone cannot escape. But it does mean that white can break into black's corner here, and the exchange here is probably even. So I think white could have considered this. But in the game, white just connected and gave the opportunity for black to play Sente moves again. So black cut here. White found a good move here, and that's cutting here, which aims at the connect and die, or the double Atari here. So black just connected and gave up a stone. Black could have considered playing away here, but black blocked just to keep the territory. And then white played this Hane in Sente. This move is probably not Sente. I think largest endgame move at this point would probably be to play this Atari along the bottom of the board, or to play here. So black pushed through and captured the 3 stones there. Black played the Hane, which is okay, and white played the Atari. Black connected, and making this exchange is not so good because there's still a cut for black here, and it means that later on white might have to put in an extra stone just to capture the cutting stone. And then white played this Atari, which brings us to the final exciting moment in the game. Black decides at this point to play a Ko. So white takes Ko first, and then black plays a Ko threat here. To be honest, I think white should just connect this and continue playing the ko, because there are still quite a few endgame moves which white could play as ko-threats. However, after cutting here and white doesn't respond, white instead makes the ko bigger, so black takes ko. White pushes through, threatening to kill the corner, and then takes ko. Black connects, and at this point, white should just connect back at the bottom of the board, because if black takes here, this group is dead along the bottom, and it's quite a large loss. We're talking about 10 stones, so 20 points, plus whatever was at the bottom. But in the game, white connected here, and black took. So after taking here, these stones are separated from this group, and before the ko, the game was probably a few points away, a 5-point win for black. But after this take, there's just no way that white could regain this much territory. So at this point, white resigned. So this brings us to the end of the game. I would like to thank Pascal for this exciting game, and also the opportunity to play against your Go Federation. We hope to play against you again soon. That's it for the video. Thank you for watching. See you.